now it's time for us to get into the nutrition segment. And I'm very excited about this because we're going to be talking about the Ghanaian Greens. And to do that with us, we have Benedicta Kessewah Addo, who is a clinical dietitian, a researcher at Diet Right Ghana. And you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Yourself?
Fine. All right, so talk to us about these Ghanaian greens.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start with identifying some of the greens. So which ones do you know?
I know Boma.
Okay.
I know Adime.
Adime.
I know Boko Boko.
This one is a poly.
No, because I didn't know the name was Boko Boko.
Boko,
I just
okay.
go outside, I want water leaf, give me water leaf.
Then they
just give it to me. And I know Kontomire.
Kontomire.
So that's it, yeah.
Yeah, so we have the Kontomire, the Adime, the Ayoyo. I think the Ayoyo and the Adime
is the same
thing. Then the Boko Boko, the Alefu, or
that
some people call it Alefi, depending on where you're coming from. And all these are some of the greens that we have in Ghana. And as a matter of fact, people don't, when we say greens, people are thinking about, the spinach and the broccoli, all these things that...
The exotic ones that are not necessarily native to Ghana.
And aside that, we can't afford those ones on a regular.
Yeah.
So in as much as greens are healthy for us, because of our perception of what green should be, we don't eat it often, and then we don't get the benefits.
We don't eat it often.
Yes, because in our minds, when you say green, somebody wants to do spinach. So if the person can't afford spinach the whole month, it's not going to be something we are eating all the time. But when you look at your backyard, you can easily find water leaf, you can easily find all these things sprouting there. So we want to identify the benefits of these ones so that people know that, okay, the same thing I get in these exotic ones, I can get an even more in the local ones that we have.
So let's talk about some of the nutritional benefits of these leaves.
So just take it one after the other.
Yes.
So let's start with Kontomire, regular Kontomire. So Kontomire as a green is rich in vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin E. And then all these vitamins are antioxidants. They have a lot of benefits for the body. So let's start with vitamin C. It's good for, the skin, wound healing, supporting the immune system and everything. Aside that, Kontomire also has some iron. We've been made to believe that Kontomire has like a lot of iron. So when they say someone's blood levels has gone low, everyone is like, eat Kontomire. But Kontomire literally gives you just 10% of your daily required amount of iron needed. Unlike Alefu, which gives you more. Okay, so amongst all of them, I would say Alefu is like the master. Because I think because it has, from the four we mentioned, it has a higher amount of iron. It also has a good amount of vitamin K, almost 950% of the vitamin K that you need. Yes, and then aside that, Alefu is also very rich in vitamin C. It gives you 70% of your required daily intake per 100 grams. So if you eat maybe 3 scoops of the Alefu leaves cooked, you are almost meeting your required vitamin C for the day. So you can tell that people who eat these greens, their skin is intact. And then it's actually true. I can tell.
Like mine.
I can tell. And then, their immune system, they don't fall sick all the time because these things are supporting the immune system. And there's this thing that as dietitians, we always talk about, antioxidants. In our human body, we always have, damage going on from the toxins around us, etc. And the only thing that can take these toxins out is the antioxidants. When you look at all the greens we are talking about, they are very, very rich in these antioxidants. So to protect you from risk of developing a cancer later in life, diabetes, all these chronic diseases, you need to eat a good amount of these antioxidants. And greens are a go-to when we're talking about them. Looking at the water leaf, that's the Boko Boko. Like the name goes, it's water leaf, so it has more water.
That's our own spinach.
Yes.
Yeah. I would think that's our own spinach because it acts like spinach too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's also sticky when you cut it like spinach. And aside that, it has a good amount of a certain fiber called pectin. So this pectin is good for treating cholesterol. So people managing like cholesterol, when they eat good amounts of these leaves, especially the boko boko, it goes a long way to help. Aside that, boko boko also has all the vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E. Those ones are very peculiar to the greens. They are also a good source of potassium, magnesium, and iron. Okay, and the last one is adime. That's the jute leaf, which is very much enjoyed with the tuzafi and okra and all that. I haven't tried tuzafi before, but I'll do so.
Oh, you should. You
this
don't know
year. It's on my bucket list.
You don't know what you're missing.
Yes. So with the jute leaf, also it also has like the same, but that one has more vitamin A than the others, and then studies have shown that it's also a good source of omega-3. I'm sure some people take omega-3 pills just for the for the benefits it gives to the brain and the fact that it protects you from inflammation, etc. We get all these from our greens. So talking about the nutritional benefits of greens, it's an ending.
Wow.
So I guess now we know how beneficial they are. Let's talk about meals that we can prepare, and then enjoy so that we have this inclusive. Whilst you do that, I also want you to touch on the destructiveness of heat, because places like East Africa, I realize that they do very little heat application to their food. So if heat has to be applied and cooked, it's for a few minutes, it's done. We tend to do a lot more.
That's true.
So talk about that angle as well.
All right. So I'll start with the application of heat. When it comes to heat, it's a good and bad thing at the same time. Because the heat is going to maximize some nutrients and then affect others. For instance, in the alefu, there's this antioxidant called lycopene.
Yes.
In there, and this lycopene is maximized when you heat the item. So if you are looking at it from that angle, then heating is beneficial. Aside that, when you look at the nutrition profile of the raw vegetables, raw greens, as opposed to the cooked greens, you can tell that for human beings, the cooked greens give us more nutritional benefits than the raw greens. Why is this? When you cook something, you break up greens. So looking at the nature of our digestive system, when you cook, it helps. But then the issue, I think, will be the point, at which point are we overcooking? I think that's where we have to draw the line. So on average for greens, 10 to 15 minutes cooking is good. And one other thing, food safety. Where are you buying your veggies from? Because if you are buying it from a place where there's a lot of filth and you don't cook, you don't expose to heat to kill the bacteria, etc., you may be thinking about, getting enough nutrients, and you end up in the hospital and waste a lot of money. Yes. And then some people say, when you boil it, you have nutrient losses. We agree, we don't dispute that, but you are going to eat a lot. So if you are going to eat like 4 cups of the greens and then you lose maybe 20%
of that
through boiling, you are still going to get enough because of the quantity you are eating. So instead of risking yourself when it comes to food safety in the name of using little heat, whereas you could eat more to maximize what your body is getting, I think we should do the latter. Great. And then about the meals, I think we should share ideas.
So I wanted to say this because one of the things I like to cook, one of the greens I like to cook is kontomire, right? Now, I also think that maybe one of the strategies would be that maybe you steam your kontomire lightly, and then, so in other words, you soften it and prep it, then maybe at the tail end of your cooking, right, after you've done the tomato stew and all of that, then you add the kontomire to it so that it doesn't stay for 30 minutes, but it can do like a 10-15 minutes, and then
on
it's done.
average, just to get the infusion going on.
I understand where you're coming from, but someone like me, if it's not well cooked, when kontomire is not well cooked, I itch. Like I itch all over.
There's a substance in these greens because they are plants. There are some tannins, and then some people react to them. So, like I said, to be safe, it's better to cook well so that you don't have, because imagine eating kontomire and after that your tongue is swollen twice the size.
So this particular thing I'm talking about, I actually did on What's Cooking. Yes. And so we have a show called What's Cooking. And Apioko was hosting that. Now, she actually ate my contomere, and she has a reaction. She always reacts to contomere if it's not cooked well. You know, but it worked for her. Because I think the strategy of steaming before
works
and then cooking.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
then you don't have to cook for 30 minutes.
When it's in the sauce.
Yes, when it's in the sauce.
I think you have.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try that.
Yes, and I think it also has to do with recipes, because I always cook and then drain the water before, but I realize some people just chop and then put it into the sauce straight away, which
that one will cause
you have the issue because you haven't extracted the tannins and then you are going to react.
Yes, you
so
react
you
to that.
you have to cook him. Great.
Mm.
So contomere, yes, we can use for our abon. I can't, so we really like the Edenware sauces. And you can also use for the contomere stew. Some people add contomere to palm nut soup.
Yes.
Even groundnut soup.
Yes.
So you can add it to everything, but not a smoothie, I beg. Because I said everything, you know, it has to be cooked.
Smoothie.
I'm thinking about
that
trying
doesn't
it.
sound right.
Really, because of the name. But
No,
how
that
about
doesn't sound right.
taro leaf smoothie? It's also called taro leaf.
Still, we don't want to.
No, I don't know about that.
All right. So
I don't know
yes,
about
disclaimer: no consumer
We don't want
smoothies.
it. Thank you. Thank you so
Then
much.
the boko boko. I checked a number of recipes and I realized they always prep it like the agushi stew, and then they boil the boko boko and add it when the stew is almost done. Yes, I haven't tried it like that before.
Well, it's for Nigerians. It's a normal Nigerian meal. So sometimes you have to mix it with another leaf. Yeah. To make the soup that you actually have to eat with eba or any other kind of.
I'm Nigerian.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I wonder why you call that soup, because it's thick.
No,
but that's for
Nigerians, what we call stew.
Is
Nigerians
their
call
soup?
Yeah.
Yes, I think.
So that one is.
So that's the difference.
All right. And then the ayoyo. That's what we have with the TZ. And you know that one naturally has some slime. So for people who haven't used it before, it has slime. So if you don't like slimy dishes, I wouldn't recommend you try ayoyo sauces. So people mostly would add it to things like okra, because okra already is slimy. And then and some people.
Well, how can you not like slimy dishes?
Some people don't.
Oh my.
Well,
I got issues.
some people don't.
It's a good question. How can you not like slimy dishes?
How can you not like okra?
Yeah.
How?
I mean, seriously.
Like, what's
Trouble.
wrong with you?
Okay, so yes, I mean, a lot of people prefer different things. So just in case you want to try ayoyo, it's slimy. So you can have that in okra. I've seen ayoyo in like Edenware sauce for someone. I don't know why the person did that, but it looked good. Just that I didn't have the courage to try. Yes.
No, but you're missing a lot not trying ayoyo. I don't understand.
No, I do ayoyo in okra, but I've not done TZ.
Okay.
So the ayoyo sauce that goes with the TZ, with the dawa dawa. Yes, I've watched a lot of videos.
Oh, you have to do it.
Yes, so I'll try it.
I'll try it. And by the way, we also have an event coming up on the 25th and 26th called the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar. It's actually literally back to your village. Right? Everything that you do in your village in terms of food, you will see someday.
Nice.
Yeah, we're having, I don't know, we're going to have, because last year I think we had like over 50 vendors, you know, with different things, you know. So as for you, look, you haven't tried it, it's a good opportunity.
Yes.
Just come around on the 25th. It's going to be at the AMA forecourt.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's happening, Back to Village Food Bazaar.
I'll be there. All right. So yes, you can use it. So I don't know if we want to dive into like recipe or just how.
I mean, just give us if we can go into some recipes. Yeah.
So for something like the ayoyo sauce, I think you are Nigerian, so if I'm going off, you help me. But mostly, I know they cook okra. You first cook okra, and then you blend the okra, and then you cook it just to get the slime. And then you have to always wash your leaves. Mostly it's washed in salt, just to kill anything that's unwanted. Some people use vinegar instead of salt, so whichever one you prefer. And then as the okra is boiling, you want to build on the slime, so you add the ayoyo leaves to it, and then you beat it with a ladle or something. Yes, so I believe as you're beating it, you are building up on the slime.
Oh, I see.
And then...
So it's all deliberate?
Yes. So every activity is deliberate. So as they beat it, they build up on the slime. Then when it softens, the locals have a broom. that they use just to break the leaves. But if you don't have a broom, the cooking broom. Yes. So if you don't have,
I didn't know this.
You just eat.
I didn't know this.
You just eat.
Oh yeah.
So yes, they have a cooking broom.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I like the fact that you added cooking before someone says
before
we are
someone
using
goes,
a broom.
regular broom, yeah.
like
Yes, so
there's
it's a
actually broom
cooking
dedicated to
special
that.
for that. And if you don't have the broom and you have the cooking scissors, you could just use that to chop it up. Yes.
Okay.
And then when it's cooked and tender, you turn it down. Then you can have another saucepan where you have a little bit of palm oil. Some people don't add palm oil at all, but if you're like me, I love to add a bit of palm oil. There's zomi, you know, it gives it some flavor.
But I think Ghanaians, we like the palm oil foul.
A lot.
We really like the palm oil.
But not like Nigerian.
No. It depends on which part of Nigeria.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So those that are known for loving palm oil is the Yoruba people.
Nice.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
They are known for,
I follow Nigerians everywhere on YouTube.
So before we go before you leave us, talk to us about the bunebunu nkwan.
Ebunebunu. All right. So I'm Kwewu, so yes. So ebunebunu nkwan is basically like kontomire soup, and it's mostly prepped with dry fishes and then snails, mushrooms. So basically like a very healthy pot. Yes. So first you have your snail. You know they have this juice from the snail. You don't throw it away.
Really?
That's the juice.
They actually add the juice to it?
Yes.
You heard it?
I eat it, but I never I eat it.
I know. Yeah, so you add it and then you season to taste and then you steam it. And you don't want your mushrooms to be too soggy, so you don't add it. Then you add your dry fish. So can you help like the adrene? Anything that's you hear crack when you press it goes into the pot. Then you boil your kontomire elsewhere. So you typically you mash.
Is it allowed to put koto inside?
I haven't tried. It's not typical. No. It's mostly dry fish and then the snails and mushrooms. Yes. So then you grind your kontomire in the earthenware. Where I come from, you add a little bit of groundnut. It's the secret ingredient. So when you're eating it, you feel it, but you can't place your hand on what it is. And then you strain into your pot, add tomatoes, onions, vegetables of choice, blend in. When it cooks down, then you add your the veggies you like to have on top, like garden eggs, aubergine, okra, in there, and then they're good to go.
Thank you
Benedicta,
so much.
thank you.
Thank you so much. It was really nice having you on the show. And guys, remember to eat your greens because greens are actually very nutritious to us. And greens don't have to be very expensive. Sometimes they're just at your backyard, and sometimes they're just in the market. And that means easy access and doesn't have to be the very expensive ones for you to get all your nutritional values.